Okay, I think we're all set to go. I just need to do one more audio check. Okay, I think we're all set to go. I just need to do one more audio check. And it checks out. It checks out. So now, just need to do... I'm just gonna do one last little tug. See if I'm gonna tug this ever so slightly. Oh, it won't tug any further though. Oh, okay. Well then. Okay, never mind. I mean, you gotta try this stuff. You never know. You never know what's gonna happen. Yeah, that was weird to see that the way it was. But I can now officially say that we are ready. Just need to do one last final thing. Well, actually, two last final things. Oh, that feels good to put that there. But it's that time. We've finally reached that time where after waiting for 5 months or 6 months for things to be made right after a pandemic hit the world, it was not easy to wait for getting to this point, and even with early access, it was still hard to get to this point because we know one of the main reasons why things are as they are. But tonight, we finally got in. About an hour later than I would have liked, because you know how things are if you've tried to get in yourself. But tonight, we're finally here. It's time to pass the torch once again. It's time to pass the torch from Shinji over to our new Warrior of Light. We go from a Warrior of Darkness to a Warrior of Light once again, and tonight our newest Warrior of Light will embark upon the journey to make things a lot better than they are right now, because an apocalypse is upon us, and it is up to this young lady to take it upon herself to make the journey needed to save the world in more ways than one, in what will be the biggest journey yet. And with a lot of questions needing to be answered, we are going to answer them over the course of this journey, and I certainly hope you are all along for the ride. So, hey there, Steve Rocks 85, and to everyone else that's going to be logging on this evening, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you with us. So, with that in mind, greetings, people of the world. Matthias Griffin back with you for the official beginning of the main event of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker live here on Twitch. We're here in the Rising Stones with our 5th Warrior of Light, Rika Sasaki, who I've used in various special events over the course of the last 6 years, but tonight she's not here to do a special event. Tonight she's ready to take up the mantle of Warrior of Light, and she is here in the Rising Stones, chilling out with the rest of the girls. She's chilling out with Ashtola, she's chilling out with Alice, and we are going to be having to change that in just a moment because we need to go and, first of all, get ourselves out of group pose. Yeah, the whole crew is here of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, and it'll be up to Alpha Node to give us the green light on our journey. And so, let's go ahead and begin the 5th expansion of Final Fantasy XIV by speaking with Alpha Node to take on the Level 80 main story quest, the first of Endwalker, entitled The Next Ship to Sail. Alpha Node is feeling the need to take stock. Rika, do you have some time to talk? And I do, but I just realized something as well. Oh geez, hold on. There's something I did not realize until just now. I don't know if it's going to affect the recording, but if it does, I'm definitely going to need to edit in posts. I just hope I can. Rika, do you have some time to talk? And of course, I do. I would like to gather everyone in Dawn's Respite and together assess the situation in which we find ourselves. Alright then. Let's go to where we need to go. See, it looks like Rika's doing some chatter. She's getting up to speed with everything that has been brought to our attention. So let's speak with Alpha Node now. Let's take up stock of the facts, shall we? The crisis at hand began with the sudden appearance of ominous towers in a multitude of locations throughout the world. We have since learned that said structures were brought into being by an organization known as the Telophoroi. The Telophoroi's stated purpose is to recreate the final days of eons past, an apocalyptic event that will result in the destruction of all we hold dear. Already have these towers of theirs have been the cause of untold suffering. Countless innocents kidnapped and imprisoned, their faith perverted for primal summonings. Indeed. And unless we find a way to deal with the corruptive aura surrounding the spires, we can't even get close enough to rescue anyone. So what do? Those shielded with the Blessing of Light seem to be able to resist being tempered at least. But what after happened to Arenvald and Fordola? We need to be very, very careful about how we proceed. Hey Luna, welcome to the stream, glad to have you with us. Yet while these threats close to home are of paramount concern, we mustn't lose sight of the situation in Garlemald. So says Thancred. As you know, the Telophoroi are under the leadership of Fan Daniel and one other delightful fellow, Xenosier Galvus, the Crown Prince and our dear friend. Quote unquote. To date, he's reclaimed his old body, murdered Emperor Varus, and plunged Garlemald into an even deeper pit of chaos. The capital has probably seen the worst of it. For a good while there, it saw the bloodiest fighting in the War of Succession, but that has since changed, and in troubling ways. Yeah. Please chime in there, Oriange. Aye. During our reconnaissance, the air was not once rent by the barking of cannons or the cries of discord. 'Twas an eerie fog of silence which did blanket that ruined city. The inhabitants appear to have been tempered, and with nary a word spoken did they labour to transform the palace into a soaring edifice born of nightmares. If they were indeed made thralls, it seems safe to assume that these events too were orchestrated by the Telophoroi. Yeah, chiming in there, Ashtola. An army of primals is awful enough, but in light of recent developments, I fear it is only the prelude to an even greater catastrophe. So what do? We need to devise a means to counter this threat and quickly, before our allies are overwhelmed. Indeed we must. And for our newest companion, or one of the newest, Graha, fresh from his stint as the Crystal Exarch. We will find a way in, Charlie, and I'm sure of it. Master Fortuno's comments regarding the final days were curious to say the least. The form knows more than it is letting on. Sorry to interrupt. Hi there, Tataru. What's going on? We've just received word from Mrs. Kryl. She says that arrangements for your visit have been finalized. Alright. you're to head to Limsa and board the next ship bound for Sharlayan. And on arrival, present yourselves as associates of the students of Baldessian, come to assist with the Order's restoration. So that's the plan. We're going to try and go in disguise as Graha gives us a wiggle. And meanwhile, of course, we have this guy, Mon Frère Estenian. The arrangements may be settled, but what of your thoughts? They must face at the prospect of returning home after so long. I guess. I'm eager to see it, of course. Of course. We should set off at once. Yes, we must. We have a job to do! Then all accompany you to the docks. You need at least one person there to wave and cry and wish you a safe journey. Oh, if it's gonna be like that. Yeah, let's go! Yeah, let's go! So it's off to us to fly now to Limsa to set off for, at least for what is for the Warrior of Light, parts unknown. Yeah, hey there, Luna. Yeah, let's hope we can bring more new friends along for the ride. So of course, since we're flying into Limsa, it's going to be busy. And in fact, it's going to be so busy, I'm not even going to bother with doing something in particular, and that is warping over to where the docks are to sail away, because given that this is official day 1 now, there is no point in us going Aetheryte, because it's just going to take an even longer loading time, and given the way things are as they are right now, it's just faster to run the distance that we need to run to. Yeah, passing by all these various warriors of light that are either have made the journey or are about to. Let's speak with Tataru. Everyone's here, which is good because I've already paid for your passage and the fee is non-refundable. The ship for Sharlayan should be pulling into port soon, so please follow me and have all your luggage close at hand. Don't worry, I got it covered. Hey there, Elizabeth. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you with us. So as we look at the Limsa skyline and have an opportunity to say hello to all of the various people who live here. And is that Momozigo I see? Yeah, and Momozigo's not alone. That's the yellow jacket from the Rogue's Quest.
They've almost finished loading our cargo. We should be ready to depart right on schedule, or so I'm told.
Excellent. 'Tis nice to have a smooth beginning to one's journey, at the very least.
But how quickly will that change?
It's funny.
Yeah, take a look, Thancred.
Master Louis Soir came here on a ship very much like this one. And now, years later, the street urchin he befriended that day is bound for his mentor's homeland. With his mentor's grandchildren, no less.
Weird how things work, doesn't it?
Aye. 'Tis upon reflection that every twist of time's river and fate's whims are brought into sharp relief. Thou hast matured much in the intervening years. Wert thou not caught attempting to relieve Master Louis Soir of his purse scant moments after he made landfall upon this dock?
We're gonna make Thancred feel awkward right away? Yeah, he just shrugs it off.
Oh, really? Now that's a tale I'd like to hear.
Probably not one we have time for. Yeah, we're all staring at him.
Will this be your first visit to Sharlayan, Sir Estinian?
Yeah, tell us.
Sir Estinian?
What's wrong, mon frère?
Are we strangers newly met? Why this stiff formality?
Yeah, we have known each other for a while. 4 expansions now. Well, actually, actually it is 5 now.
I, merely meant it as a professional courtesy, since we are now colleagues in an official sense.
So does that mean we get to refer to you as Sir Alphanode?
I'd rather you dispense with the sirs, especially in private company. Or I'll be forced to respond in kind, little Lord Alphino.
You've made your point, Estinian. Painfully well.
Ouch.
Better.
And what about you, Tataru? Yeah, you're holding your hand to your breast. I think you're about to get all teary-eyed.
Are you all right, Tataru? You seem positively distraught.
Distraught? Me? Don't be silly. I think it's lovely that they get to see their homeland.
But
It's just... we're trying to thwart the schemes of an army hellbent on destroying the world.
isn't that how it always works?
And once again, I have to stay behind and worry that this is the last time I'll get to see my friends.
I'll bring them back safe and sound, I promise, or no sense worrying about the things we're powerless to change. Yeah, I'll bring them back safe and sound, I promise. Yeah, give her a smile. And she'll come
I'll
up with
hold
one
you
too.
to that.
Ah, good. You're still here.
And then, yeah, an unexpected hello from some of our Scion's allies. Hori, Boulder, and Coltene, back for the first time in a while.
Hori! Coltene! What brings you all this way?
Was that rhyming on purpose?
We're to assist the Maelstrom and the Kobolds with a lunar primal operation, so we thought we'd see you off before heading to the tower.
Are you going to be able to hold your
Flamine
own?
and the others wish you all a safe journey, and promise that they'll look after things here until you return. We will too, of course. Aye. We, your fellow Scions of the Seventh Dawn, will do our part to ensure the end of the world won't happen on our watch.
Let's hope you're right about that.
We're set to sail! All aboard for Sharlayan!
Alright. Yeah, everyone who wants to get on, please do so.
It's time.
It is time.
Then we must delay no longer. We will contact you the moment we learn aught of value. Wish us luck.
Any other final words, Tataru?
Have a safe journey, and please, please, be careful.
We'll do what we can. Time to take a ride. Yeah. Stay out careful, the three of you as well. Yeah, let's wave goodbye to each other as the ship begins its perilous journey.
And so you venture forth unto the unknown.
Also, Emmett Selk doing commentary.
A fate beyond the horizon that cannot be divined. A future undefined and in flux. In uncertain times, naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice.
Off into the
That
sunset we
which
go.
Lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end. Treasure every moment, every step of your descent.
Descent? You mean ascent. Shall we go underwater for a moment?
And there, in the depths where souls and stars rest, find your truth.
Yeah, don't worry, Emmett. We'll find the truth you always wanted us to find. And so, yeah, we're getting the fancy map that we had also in Stormblood. Departing from Limsa Minsa and heading northwest to Sharlayan. And of course, because it's going to take us a while to transition, load times will be a while. And also we're getting throwback to Final Fantasy 1.0 music. As we get to hear the music. And we also get to hear Hydaelyn.
Feel.
Yeah, she's out there somewhere.
Think.
Then again, we did get a brief glimpse of her, or what we believe is her, at the end of Shadowbringers.
The day has barely dawned, my fellow earlier riser. Though we're hardly alone in that. Envious of those still sleeping soundly, no doubt.
Yeah. Why don't we get beds? That's what I want to know. Hey Akira, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you with us.
Called out to you, you say? I've heard nothing myself. In any case, I dare say the sea air will do you good. Why not join the others on deck? Sharlayan should be coming into view at any moment.
Alright. I believe we can do that. I also noticed that Alice is sleeping while on her knees. Yeah, meanwhile, we're just getting started there, Akira. Yeah, we see the doors are open. Head on up there, Rika. Oh, we see someone. Yeah, remember we saw someone in a white robe at the end of Shadowbringers? When Shinji returned to Mordona? Yeah, could it possibly be the same person? Hydaelyn, is it really you?
My voice yet reaches you. I am glad.
Indeed it is you.
Hear, feel, think.
Yeah, those words have been with us for 7 years now. 8 if you've been around since the start.
We meet face to face at last. My warrior of light, guided by the crystal.
Nice to meet you. In human form this time. But yeah, why now, Hydaelyn? Or do we be like Emmett Selk and be like, oh, we can trust your words no longer because of what Emmett Selk told us? But no. Why now of all times?
After your sojourn in the First, I believe you have your answer.
Yeah, Emmett Selk told everything to us.
You have gained an understanding of what I truly am. What Hydaelyn has always been. A primal.
So she actually admits that she is. That's something that's... let's be honest. I don't think any primal would have ever admitted to who and what they really are. But Hydaelyn actually has enough awareness to recognize who and what she is.
Zodiac was created to forestall the apocalypse which threatened the ancient world. And I was brought forth to bind him.
Possibly from getting too strong? Because, yeah, that's something we still don't know about.
Yet 7 times now, those who would orchestrate a return to that bygone era have rejoined a shard to the god I had sundered. The greater his strength grows, the swifter does mine own diminish. The power to draw your mind into the rift betwixt is no longer mine to wield.
So does that mean we no longer have an echo either?
Yet though it taxes me sorely, I dare not leave these words unsaid. Even bereft of my guidance, you and your companions have accepted the burden of this star's troubled past. A conjunction has begun to form, an intertwining of your time and mine.
Oh, really?
Wheels shudder and turn. Conflict looms. Monumental. Which will decide the fate of this world and all life upon it.
So what do you want?
When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
I guess we'll find out what it is soon enough.
Cast your peepers to the fore, folks. Sharlian's just over yonder.
Yeah, I guess I'm the only one who can see her.
I will not keep you further. Your traveler's heart must yearn to behold this unfamiliar land.
Oh, yes indeed.
We shall meet again, and soon.
Oh, I'm thoroughly expecting it. Yeah, when will we be putting you out of your misery? And away she goes. Oh, hi everyone.
Oh, what a fine morning. Oh, still a bit stiff though.
And a good morning to you too. Taking a look at the island already?
Actually, I was preoccupied.
Then let's go. Let's go. Might still be room in the prow if we're lucky.
In the prow? Yeah, there's everyone else too. Yeah, let's all meet up again.
Ah, the sleepers have arisen. There she is. Good old Sharlian.
Yeah, look how happy they are. Target sighted.
Home. Home at last. Well, maybe not in Father's eyes, but we'll manage on our own, if we must.
You do know you're not alone in this, don't you?
Exactly.
Indeed. 'Tis as Sir Estinian saith. Forget not the comrades who boarded this ship at your side, I prithee.
Also, I thought Estinian wanted to be discouraged from having Sir added.
Thank you, my friends. We are ever grateful for your steadfast support.
Upon arrival, we will be disembarking into the heart of Sharlian proper.
I'm so happy to get there.
There is no greater concentration of wisdom in all the world. I am confident that somewhere within that center of knowledge and learning, we will find the answers we seek.
Let's hope you're right. Who's ready for some action? Yeah, let's get that epic pan out. I'm coming home. Tell the world that I'm coming home. Let the rain wash away all the pain of yesterday. I know my kingdom awaits.
Sharlayan, the solitary island nation of the northern seas.
Oh, screw you, Emma, for cutting me off.
Where under the watchful gaze of Thaliak, patron deity of scholars, academics hoard all manner of knowledge and secrets. Once, they deigned to accept foreign students into a distant colony maintained in the Dravanian hinterlands.
Which we learned about in Heavensward.
How swiftly they abandoned it once the first Garlean boot set hostile foot on Alamegan soil.
Yeah. We heard about that.
So averse to the prosecution of war, these men of wisdom, your would-be allies.
And so, later that night, we officially arrive in Sharlayan, or Old Sharlayan as they're calling it in this game.
I thought they'd never let us off the ship. What's next then? Entry applications?
Hopefully they find no cause to deny us.
Let's hope you're right.
Hasn't Sharlayan all but severed relations with foreign powers? Those of us without direct ties, myself included, may be refused outright.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
It's true that, as a nation, Sharlayan only forms trade agreements with a select few neutral countries. But from a practical standpoint, an island cannot afford to be overly strict with its borders. Especially not if that island's people are wholly devoted to the accumulation of knowledge. If one submits the proper paperwork, with satisfactory evidence of identity and intent, then foreigners may be granted entry.
May?
May.
My thoughts exactly.
Quite. So let us be absolutely clear on these points before we proceed. The immigration officer will ask for your affiliation and your purpose of visit. Considering Sharlayan's views on intervention, I strongly suggest we avoid any mention of the Scions.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Kryl has laid the groundwork for us to act as associates of the students of Baldessian, and our ostensible reason for being here is to aid in their order's restoration.
Yeah, let's hope we can.
Grahatir, it might expedite our progress should an actual student be seen at the head of our little group. Would you mind leading the way?
Of course. The immigration officers were this way, as I recall. Shall we?
Yeah, we shall. Let's go. Yeah, there's even northern lights around here.
Greetings. We've just arrived and are eager to make our way into the city. Would you be so kind as to process our entry applications?
Certainly. I see by your mark you are an Archon.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna be checked for neck tats.
I am. Grahatir of the Students of Baldessian at your service. I was assigned to an Eorzean survey team, but have returned to assist with the reformation of my order. My associates here will provide additional support.
You don't seem convinced of that.
Very good. I have paperwork detailing your group and its scheduled arrival for today.
Oh, okay, good.
And it seems some few of your companions are also Archons. If you'll step forward, we can process those applications first.
Alright then. But then once it gets down to us, then what?
Ishtola rule.
Yeah, hard to believe that the Seekers of the Sun have actual last names. You would think that because they are identified by the first letter of their name being corresponding to their respective tribe, that they wouldn't have last names, but, well, obviously the guys do. They have Noon and they have Tia, but yeah, is Roll a standard surname for female Seekers of the Sun? She's got to scan the book or something.
See how it glows? That list is etherically linked with the citizen registry kept in the main repository.
So it's basically like high technology before that was a thing.
I've confirmed your status as Archons and amended your travel records accordingly. Welcome home. Now, who do we have here?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Alphino Leveilleur.
And Alize Leveilleur.
Oh, jeez.
Your applications have also been approved. Having said that...
Yeah. Are the twins restricted because they got disowned?
The streets are abuzz with talk of how House Leveilleur's lord disowned his young progeny.
Yeah, we have a bone to pick with him. Yeah, don't make it worse for them. They've had it bad enough.
And while such personal circumstances constitute no reason to deny you entry, I urge you to avoid exacerbating your present situation. Times are quite troubled enough already.
Fine.
We shall keep that in mind.
Yeah, sad face.
These last two are not Sharlayan natives, but you will find their credentials are in order. An application was made in advance.
Yeah, so come forward to the two dragoons.
Name and occupation?
Occupation? Adventurer by trade, artisan, or champion of Eorzea. For purposes of trying to keep our Scion Association under lock and key, I don't think we want to refer ourselves as champion of Eorzea. Yeah, we're just regular old adventurers, just like anyone else who begins this game's journey.
An adventurer. Well, I suppose that is considered a valid calling in your native Eorzea. And it does indeed match the profile provided. You may enter.
Well, at least we got that.
And you, sir?
Estinian Valino, formerly of the Order of the Knights Dragoon in Ishgard.
Yeah, no, and I also know what you're thinking. If you play in the game and you get into instance battles with Estinian, he's referred to as Estinian Wormblood. But not anymore. He actually has a legit last name, and it's Valino. And I know that for all of the people who cosplay as Estinian, they're changing that accordingly.
Formally, at least. And what, pray tell, is your profession now?
Oh, can he not answer validly? Yeah, unless you can do so, you're not gonna get in. What do we do? All of a sudden.
If you'll allow me.
Yeah, coming out of nowhere. It's Kryl to the rescue.
My associate is a mercenary, hired for his strength at arms. Surely you are aware of the dangers we often face on our forays into the wilderness.
Yeah.
Mistress Baldessian, if you insist on sponsoring his entry, then so be it. But while I appreciate that desperate times call for desperate measures, I find your choice of company concerning. Be advised that even a single misstep may have severe repercussions for your organization.
In other words, they don't condone violence here.
I have every confidence in my chosen company, dear and trusted comrades that they are. But I thank you for your concern.
Whew, dodged a bullet. And she's exhausted. He was like, what did I do to deserve this? Hey, Kryl, thanks for the bailout.
Kryl, it is good to see you.
Likewise. Long voyage notwithstanding, you all seem none the worse for wear. There is much to discuss, but this is hardly the place. Let's be on our way, shall we?
Oh, indeed.
Oh!
What's up?
Welcome, friends, to Sharlayan.
Oh, I thank you.
As your mercenary, I should hope my welcome includes a generous salary.
Well, I had to say something, Sir Taciturn.
Wow. Yeah, we're not pulling any punches here. Yeah, we gotta wait for everyone to file in before we can officially complete quest number 1. And it'll be with Kryl who we speak to complete it. Kryl? I'm glad I spotted your ship coming into port. The officers are born bureaucrats and sticklers for detail. In any case, you may relax and take a moment to get your land legs back. Yeah, I think we will. So, for successfully completing quest number 1, we shall take 448,800 experience points, 1,135 gil, plus a level 80 weapon coffer, which, given where my equipment currently is, we won't necessarily need to use this right away. If at all, of course. But I can always use it somewhere else, and use it on another, warrior class that I already have to level 80. And so there we go. Quest number 1 is finally done. And yeah, we've already learned a lot, and it's only for the first quest. Who could have seen that happening? And unfortunately, this guy's playing cockblock, so we gotta switch over here in order to speak with Kryl and keep her on screen. Alright, so now let's move on to take on our next main story quest with Kryl at level 80, entitled Old Sharlayan, New to You. Kryl sweeps the Scions with a speculative look. One that keeps her blocked out. I mean, she is a Lalafell, she is easy to block out. I had thought to launch directly to an explanation of what I've learned and how we might proceed. So? But this is Rika Estenian's first time in Sharlayan, and for the rest of you, a homecoming that was long overdue. You must have places you wish to visit, and people you're dying to see. Therefore, I propose we postpone our agenda so that you all may have sufficient time to recover from your journey and get your bearings in the city. Once you've settled in, we can reconvene at the Baldessian Annex. How does that sound? 'Tis a fine suggestion. We may not be welcome at the Levier estate as such, but I should like to nose around the neighborhood all the same. And as for you, Alice? Oh, you're gonna tag along? You're not gonna just go off and do your own thing? I am equally untethered, as it were. There's no particular place that my kin call home. Still, I will not pass up the opportunity to reacquaint myself with the city. Likewise, a quick tour of our old haunts might even yield some useful gossip. The Annex was west of the plaza, wasn't it? I shall join you there anon. Yes, we'll see you there. And away they all go. And as for you there, Orianger, I too have places I would be remiss in not visiting forthwith. By thy leave. Yeah, away you go. And as for the rest of us, what of you, Estenian? My services are as a guide are yours for its asking. No, that's a hard no. That won't be necessary. Until we reconvene, I prefer to wander as the wind takes me. Don't wander too far. Away he goes. But I could... Oh. You're not gonna stop him. Well, Raha, would you like to join us then? You've been gone for quite a while, and this would be the perfect way to refresh those dusty old memories of yours. Yeah, I guess. Oh, of course, if you'll have me. And you're gonna take me along? Come, Rika, Charlene awaits. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So Graha will have the next thing to say. After you, my friend. I'm more than content to follow your lead. So this is now a new feature that is in Endwalker. NPCs can follow you to various points. Keep them at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave Grahatia behind by entering a different area using the Ethernet or by putting too much distance between you. You can also speak with him and select the option to part ways. If you wish to have Grahatia accompany you again, return and speak with him at the original location. While Graha is accompanying you, next try speaking with Kryl. Let's do that then. All set, then let us be on our way. Our first stop, amusingly enough, will be at the last stand. It's a cafe on the west side of the harbour. So now Kryl is also accompanying you. Lead your two companions to the last stand and speak with Kryl at the designated location. While you are accompanied, you may encounter conversation points along the way, which offer additional topics of discussion. Basically like what would happen if you were playing any Tales of game. Enter the glowing area and speak with your quest companions to initiate these bonus conversations. Enjoy exploring your surroundings together. And thankfully, they do talk about the restrictions, but there is one thing that is not a restriction, which I'll elaborate further on as we attune to our first Aetheryte. We now have access to Scholar's Harbor. And then we can run over this way and visit one of these talking points, one of these conversation points. Let's go ahead and speak with Kryl first, about the giant statue in the harbor. This path leading out towards the sea is also known as the Thaliak Stoa, so named for the statue the scholar withstands at to descend. As you know, the Charlene people prize the accumulation of wisdom above all else. Thus, when Thaliak was chosen as our patron deity, it was more a matter of pragmatism than belief, an alignment of principles, as it were. We may have honored him with a rather impressive sculpture, yes, but our faith is not so strict as that of, say, the Ishgardians. Individual Charlians can and do worship the divinities of their choosing. And as for you, Graha? Now that is a sight one could hardly forget. The great statue of Thaliak. As a student of Baldessian, I was usually quartered on the Isle of Val, but I would gaze upon the scholar's wise features every time I returned by ship to this city. Yeah, just to give you an idea of what they're referring to, they're referring to this. Yeah, we're stuck looking at Thaliak's backside for the time being, but you saw the front of it when we were in cutscene. But ultimately, we want to go this way. So, having reached the required destination, let's speak with Kryl. And here we are, the last stand. I may have mentioned this before, but although our research into nutrition and food preparation is quite extensive, the average Charlene tends to regard seasoning and flavor with a certain indifference. You know, we heard about that in 5.3, I believe. How can I put this? The food is, it's bland. As encapsulated by our infamous Archon loaf, the prevailing sentiment towards cuisine is dietary value first and taste a distant second. There was one pupil of the studium, however, who could stomach the schools and separate meals no longer, so he quit his lessons and poured all of his savings into building a proper eatery. And so the last stand came to be. It is, as the name implies, the sole dedicated outpost of fine dining in Charlene, the one and only bastion of the culinary arts in an isle of otherwise mediocre fare. I seem to recall their burger being hailed as one of the more impressive items on the menu. Not that I ever had the pleasure of eating one myself. Also, that was Graha talking. Because you are a typical Shani when it came to cheap and convenient Raha, but surely Tatu has since taught you how to appreciate a well-prepared dish. We should all stop in when time permits and sample the cafe's delights. Shall we press on? The stairs to the side of the cafe there will take us up to the Aetheryte Plaza. Alright then, let's go. Oh, is that so? Luna really seemed to enjoy Arise, which was the newly released Tales of game a couple months ago. And I like the whole Man in the Iron Mask motif. Alright, let's speak with Kryl. An unusual shape, isn't it? I assure you, however, that it's a perfectly functioning aetheryte. Remember to attune yourself before we move on. Now, being the diligent tour guide that I am, I should make mention of the Confluence, a research facility located on this very plaza. Its much vaunted discoveries are the reason Sharlayan stands at the forefront of teleportation technology. In deciphering the underlying principles of elegant aetherites, it allowed us to understand and reconstruct what was essentially a lost art. And off we go to our next destination. Our path leads northeast to the Agora, Sharlayan's largest marketplace. And so we will attune. It would be a crime not to. And so now we're into the main Aetherites attunement. Away we go. Yeah, thankfully you're not encumbered by having to run normally. You can sprint, and they will follow you at sprint speed. And also I'm running by where I need to go, which is right over here. Yeah, just following the arrows, but it can be easy to get preoccupied by them. Let's speak with Graha about the bookstalls. Do you mind if I browse the shelves for a moment? There might be some hidden gems I've yet to read. Only a moment? How optimistic. Feel free to browse all you like, but we won't wait around for you. That's a shame. Ah, perhaps I'll return later then. Sure. Kryl. These little open-air bookstores are so uniquely Sharlayan. I always thought them a common sight until I visited other nations. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, not everyone is learned as you guys are. Not even remotely. Alright, Kryl. Welcome to the Agora, where you can find wares made in Sharlayan as well as a wide selection of imported goods. They also used to sell questionable prototypes from the various research institutes, but I think that practice has thankfully died out, for the most part. Otherwise, I can think of no better place to stock up for your next big adventure. Am I overselling it? On a more serious note, the next stop on our tour is one which has particular relevance to our ultimate purpose here. We must head back to the Aetheryte Plaza, follow the path north, then climb up the stairs to that imposing building at the very top. Alright then. Well, we don't necessarily have to go the way she suggests, and for what it's worth, I do want to pick up some additional Aetherites along the way. Plus, it also gives us more opportunity to take a look around the city. Get to see some of the beauty around here, and surprisingly, even though this is a place that's home to a whole bunch of scholars, there's also a lot of natural content around here. Lots of trees, lots of areas where there are cliffs, that sort of thing. Alright, Kryl. This grand structure before you is the Rostra. The name refers to the original public platform erected here, upon which a forum of elected representatives would deliver orations and debate policy. Although the stage has since evolved into council chambers, the nature of the forum and the duties of its members remain largely unchanged. Am I boring you, Raha? You seem awfully distracted. My apologies. From here, one can see the entire city spread out below. The vista put me in mind of my rival here in the first. Those who had gathered at the Crystal Tower asked me how they might go about building a new home. Naturally, my answers were all inspired by my knowledge of the finest settlement I could think of, the great city of Sharlayan. And bit by bit, those few buildings grew into a town, a community, the Crystarium. I can almost see its echo. I see. Feel free to come up here whenever you wish. I don't think the councillors would object to you simply enjoying the view. Such memories should be treasured. For now, however, the tour must go on. Our spectacle of sightseeing concludes with a fittingly named Journey's End. Walk down the stairs to the east and continue straight ahead. Yeah, to give you an idea of what she's talking about, this is what she's talking about. The fog may have rolled in, but hey, at least we still have a pretty decent view of a lot of the things that you can expect to see here in Sharlayan. But before we go anywhere else, let's make sure we attune. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll take Kryl's recommendation and head over to Journey's End. So down the stairs we go. Yeah, those aren't the yellow jackets from Limbs to Laments, I should point out. Yeah, they wouldn't need a security detail like that here in Sharlayan. Alright, Kryl. We've arrived at Journey's End. History tells us that this was where those who put ashore with Archon Nunkrumf built their first homes. In the present day, it serves as the residential district for the most important officials and the oldest Sharlayan families. You'll see that one mansion is clearly larger than its neighbors. That estate belongs to our friends from House Leveilleur. Boo. All things considered, we should probably keep our distance for the time being. I couldn't agree more. And with that, we bring our little Sharlayan tour to a close. I hope it has proven to be an entertaining and enlightening experience. Now, we shall head directly to the Baldessian Annex. You remember the way, don't you, Raha? Let me think. We head down towards the harbour, cross the bridge to our right, and then we follow the path below the Aetheryte Plaza? Correct. After you, Rika. Well, there is also an Aetheryte that is really close by, so I should attune to it too. And I might as well, since it's right over here. Yeah, we now have access to the Leveilleur estate. Like we would ever want to come here! Yeah, it'll probably take too long to load properly, so... While we're making our way over to the Baldessian Annex, I guess I should ask you guys right now, the one thing I noticed as I was beginning to start the first main quest, is my audio sync off? Is my commentary off when I press buttons to advance the text? Because that's something I have to compensate for when I'm playing on console, I discovered. Head on down this way. Weave our way through the city because, ugh! Yeah, I fell through. Yeah, we're kind of cutting through the bush here. And we make our way to where we need to be. Alright, Kryl. And the joyous look on Raha's face has undoubtedly informed you this is the Baldessian Annex. If you continue up the hill, you'll arrive at the doorstep of Phenomenon, but I think we've explored enough for one day. We can take you there another time. Inside with you then. Alright, let's go on in. So let's see what this place looks like. I'm back, and I brought Rika and Raha with me. And who might you be? Oh, you were right about the ship then. Hello, Raha. It's nice to see you again. And it is a pleasure to finally meet you, Rika. I've heard many a tale of your exploits. Yeah, they all involve the special events of this game, but that has changed as of today. Ojika? Ojika Sunjika? It has been an age! Yeah. Allow me to introduce Ojika, cousin of Ajika Sunjika, and administration officer for the students of Baldessian. He oversees the day-to-day business of the Annex. Yeah, for those of you who were not watching me stream in basically the downtime where I was trying to accomplish as much as I possibly could, Ajika was the primary point of contact for the Eureka Saga. I read the reports on the Eureka expedition. I hope Ajika didn't cause you too much trouble. He's impatient and impetuous, but a good sort at heart. This place is like a second home for the students. The Isle of Val served as our main headquarters, of course, but we often had occasion to visit Charlian. Whether to make use of the city's research facilities, attend conferences, or procure supplies from distant shores. And the annex here was built to provide lodgings for our members while we were engaged in such activities. Now that our former headquarters is on the wrong side of the world, among other things, the Annex has become our new base of operations for all intents and purposes. And yet it feels so empty. With so many lost to us, our organization is a shell of its former self. Yeah, sadly. The day will come when we will see the students rise again. But first, we must ensure that the Telophoroi fall. Indeed we must. Through that door on the left there is the main hall where we can discuss our options moving forward. Yeah, that door specifically. Once everyone arrives, that is, you probably have time to rest before our discussions begin in earnest. And looking over to the other door, yeah, that's girls only or something. I've had private quarters prepared for you, the Andron, so please feel free to make yourself at home. Yeah, it turns out it's for us. Oh, the nap rooms. Perfect for an afternoon doze. Yeah, I guess. Oh, I didn't mean to give you the wrong impression. The chambers are quite well appointed, far more so than some of the cheap roadside inns, you may be assured. 'Twas simply that we were often so busy with research, or exhausted from journeys abroad, that we would slip into the Andron just to steal a few winks. And thus they became known amongst us as the students as nap rooms, even if many such naps might last well into the following morning. Say the word and I'll be happy to show you to that chamber. Alright. Hopefully the others won't be too long in coming. I'll wait for you all in the main hall. Alright then. So away they go. Let's head on inside. Oh, Graha's just gonna chill out there? Alright then, Kryl, I guess we'll speak with you. Feeling refreshed and alert? Our colleagues should be wandering in soon, so I'll suggest we stay here and wait for them to join us. So, sometime later, after everyone is reconvened here, and that includes you, Urianger.
Pray forgive me. I was delayed.
Hopefully nothing serious.
It's fine, Urianger. We're all here now.
Let's get down to business then, shall we?
Let's get at it. Tell me everything there is to know.
Come what may, we must prevent the Telophoroi's plans from coming to fruition. At present, I see two paths for gathering the information which may aid us in achieving that goal.
Do tell.
The first involves an investigation into the change which has come over Charlian, not to mention the recent inscrutable behavior of the Forum. As most of you know, the 99 members of the Forum are elected from the general populace. This alone guarantees a plethora of opinion with regards to foreign policy. The bibliotheques, for example, are a group of conservatives which would have Sharlayan focus on recording history, while remaining entirely uninvolved in the making of it.
And that obviously includes the father of Alphinaud and Alice.
And at the other extreme, we have advocates for proactive diplomacy and direct intervention. My grandfather Galef was one such member, as was Archon Louisois.
In other words, they were outcasts.
Yet despite our diverse factions and philosophies, the recent vote to deny Eorzea's request for assistance was unanimous.
That's not good.
Even more concerning was the fact that many cited other, more pressing duties as justification for their recalcitrance.
Yeah, there's a big fancy word for you.
Fortuno's refusal in Gridania had those same undertones. 'Twas as if, having stared unblinking into the face of impending doom, he had simply turned away to pursue something more important. But what could that possibly be?
Shady dealings, perhaps?
A mystery indeed, and one which I ask for your help to solve. Our future may depend on it. As for our second potential path, it concerns a request made directly to the students of Baldessian.
But who could have made it? Yeah, look over your shoulder.
Our organization was founded primarily to study strange and unexplained phenomena the world over. Mysterious relics and ruins, arcane disturbances, and so forth. Compared to our more isolationist Sharlayan colleagues, we have strong connections overseas, namely with scholars and academics who share our passion for the unknown. The request in question comes from one such acquaintance, Nidana, an alchemist residing in distant Favner.
Yeah, we've heard about that place many times, especially useful for items that can be used to enhance weapons.
Her missive describes the sudden appearance of a tower, and the subsequent summoning of what I can only assume is a lunar primal.
Well, I guess we know what we gotta do, right?
In response to this threat, the satrap of Rads at Han, the individual who governs the city-state, has instructed the alchemists to find a means to deal with the spire.
The artisans of that land are heirs to an ancient tradition, one rather unlike that of their Uldan counterparts. 'Tis possible, nay, probable, that they have gleaned truths unattainable by Eorzea or her Far Eastern allies.
I guess we'll find out.
They do, in fact, appear to have a strategy in mind, though it will require further research. To that end, they have requested an introduction to a capable warrior shielded by the blessing of light.
Yeah, that's guess who.
Assuming we divide our forces to pursue both of Kryl's lines of inquiry, then having you join the group heading to Thavner would seem the obvious choice. But the investigation in Sharlayan is of vital importance as well. Equal, I think, to the Thavnerian one, given that the fate of the world may hinge on the results of both.
So what do we do?
Yes, it is quite the quandary. Though it is a great imposition and an altogether too common one, our efforts would be more likely to succeed were you to lead the charge on both fronts.
I'll do what I can.
You are indeed our champion. As to which task to tackle first, we will defer to your decision. Let us next decide how everyone else might best be assigned. As for myself, I shall continue what I've begun in Sharlayan. I should also like to steal the services of an Archon or two.
And thereby gain access to a greater range of reading material. I will help with that.
Allow me to offer my assistance. I have some small amount of experience in the field of research.
You on in on it also?
Alice and I would also like to help, if you would have us.
anything to understand even a fraction of what our father and the Forum might be thinking.
Of course, the more the merrier.
But not too many.
Right. The rest of us will make the journey to Thavner. Thoughts? Objections?
He's like, whatever I gotta do.
I passed through Thavner on my way to infiltrate the Empire, and though I'm not qualified to give a guided tour, I did gain a sense of where things lie.
I'll be happy to have you along then. So for this group, it will be you, me, and Urianger.
And whenever I can get around to it.
Give me a moment afterwards, and I'll supply you with all the details of Nadana's request. Consider this hall our rendezvous point once our respective tasks are complete. May our investigations prove fruitful.
Let's hope for the best. So yeah, we've seen similar situations like this in Heavensward, for instance, and in Stormblood, where early on you're asked to go to 2 different places to take on 2 different lines of quests to check out 2 different locations. So we'll take our 448,800 experience points, 1,375 gil, plus a level 80 chess piece. And so now comes the decision. Are we going to the left or are we going to the right? Well, since it's going to be simpler for now to stay in town, we're going to start with the group on the left. So, we'll begin with the group on the left and speak with Kryl to begin the first quest for this particular route. Let's speak with her to take on the level lady main story quest entitled Hitting the Books. Kryl is intent on uncovering the reason behind the Forum's inexplicable behavior. An unsettling change has come over Sholian, but together with we will divine the underlying cause for the Forum's callousness. As I mentioned before, questioning the Councils directly is a fruitless endeavor. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge. Which is why I began scouring Sholian's archive of historical records for any hints of connection to the final days. Suffice it to say that progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day, but now that I have this band of willing reinforcements, the search should proceed all the swifter. Let us reconvene outside Numenon, shall we? Exit the annex to the right, and you'll find the archives on the western edge of the woods. Archives it is. And outside we go. Back into the heart of the big congregation of people that is accumulated here, but it didn't take all that long to load in. So we're going this way. And we don't have anyone along for the ride for now. And side quests have opened up, but we're going to hold off on the side quests until we complete the 2 split paths. I think I need to go up to the top tier, which I should be able to access by going this way. Yep. So over to Kryl. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of Numenon, Sholian's grandest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many at that. The archives of Numenon extend deep beneath the surface like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the Great Gubal Library pale in comparison to Numenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Sholian is free to enter and peruse its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons afforded access to certain restricted vaults. I've dispatched Estola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alice and Alfner will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Sharlayan history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you, a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let us be about it, shall we? I've told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they've found some promising tomes. Happy reading! Alright then. So yeah, we have to find 3 books on relevant subjects. But here's the thing. There's more than 3 books in here that you can read. One of them includes this brightly colored book, titled The Story of Sharlayan. Read the book? Yeah, let's have a read. Long, long ago, on an island in the Northern Sea, there lived a Rogadan man by the name of Nuenkremph. Nuenkremph was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Nuenkremph's crew hauled them aboard his ark, but the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, Nuenkremph wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to safely atop Abalathia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Nuenkremph gathered him his crew and his grateful passengers and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time it became the city of Sharlayan we live in to this day. So we found one that will help us, and then this red cover book is all about Roads of Old, the Colony. Many years ago, on the banks of the Thaliak in the Dravanian hinterlands, a Sharlayan colony once thrived. This settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year 1311 of the 6th Astral Era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a gradual expression in structures and services. As rumors spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Sharlayans. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Sharlayan colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Sharlayan, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Sharlayan inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Following the Great Exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Idleshire, which we know in Heavensward. The chapters go on to introduce the most prominent features of Idleshire, but it does not appear to contain additional information on the Forum or cover the history of the Sharlayan motherland in great detail. Yeah, there are other books like this too, and for the first time in this Let's Play, if we follow after them, yeah, we're deliberately following after this person. But I don't know if they're actually gonna stop. No, I think he's heading out the door. That was our first male Vieira sighting of the Let's Play. That was our first official male Vieira sighting. So we want to keep weaving around. And then we have a blue cover book called An Introduction to the Heavens. Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but the vastness beyond, of the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the nights. Some think the dome above us to be a finite space, yet among the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar's depiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains an unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few indeed who can explain in satisfactory detail why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It was the technologists of Alag who came close to understanding the laws which govern that starry abyss. It was they who launched Dalamud and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has their interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged— oh, there he is! Yeah, he came back! Were arranged differently in the distant past, that their positions continued to shift almost imperceptibly but measurably as we journey into the future. Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? This book is on the wrong subject. But yeah, it's quite a read though. Next, we have this well-worn manual. Forever 20 Summers, but we'll pass on that one because we kind of... it's more of a poem more than anything. Yeah, let's read this time-worn tome instead. Stewards of Wisdom. During the chaos of the 6th Umbral Calamity, Archon Neumkremph, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought by the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the Northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlayans took to heart the words of their savior and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Hence the title. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth in coin, and the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Sharlayan would live by their founders' teachings, for sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star. They would eschew the tools of war and with knowledge deliver the world. And then we should find one more book over here. Oh, have I run by it? I must have run by the last book. Yeah, gonna have to find that last one. 'Cause yeah, it wasn't this one. Ah, there you are. Yeah, I was like, I must have run by it, and I did. This leather-bound tome. The Voice of a Growing City. Let's have a read at this one. In the years which followed the founding of Sharlayan, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions, but in the year 201 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Sharlayan would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from among their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the form as we know it today conceived and created. You've gained a fundamental understanding of Sharlayan history and the foundation of the Forum. Head outside to the rendezvous point and await your companions. Yeah, why 99 and why not exactly 100? Maybe the 100th person is the person who's like the leader of them all and has no vote or whatever? Yeah, we'll head on over here to the destination. And we'll just chill out for a while. And here come Alistair and Graha. Soy, were you waiting long? Well, not that long. I wanted to make sure I borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alfino and Kryl should also be along shortly. I was delayed in similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mentioned the final day specifically, so we had no choice but to start with the tangibly relevant tomes, if they are even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare, and share our discoveries as we make them. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read and a ready supply of hot tea. But, oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. Yeah, she does. It has been difficult. After arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family's servants and asked how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alfino and I were to return to Sharlayan, we were not to be allowed across the threshold. Yeah, the somber face says it all. Yeah, that's how much they're hated. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position and that of the former will lead perhaps to a reconciliation. We'll mend this fifth one day, I'm certain of it. And what of you, G'raha? Have you been to visit your family, or do they not live here in the city? Ah, well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlayan, yes, but I was born rather further away. Yeah, tell me about it. In the southern reaches of Ilsabard, in fact. For generations, my people have dwelt in Corvos, the coastal region opposite the island of Thavnir. The Alligans founded a city in that fertile land and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Mikote to serve as laborers. Yeah, that sucks. Of course, the massive earthquakes and the fourth Humble Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign, and when the fifth Calamity froze the seas solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they may prevent the remnants of Allagan technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos under Garlean rule? Most of the places are in this game. Yeah, the Empire is still vast. For the past 50 years, yes, some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case in most Imperial provinces, but Garlemald renamed the region Locus Amonis. No, we do not want to skip the cutscene. Yeah. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious Imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. Ah yeah, the lady who brought about the calamity in the first place. Yeah, that's quite a look of shock and then disdain. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Allagan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices had been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Allaganai no longer passed to our eldest children as a library as they once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Allag. As the last child born with the Allaganai, I was given over to the custody of friends and the students of Baldessian who had registered me as a Sharlayan citizen. I never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louis Swell, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Sharlayans than he might think. Yet regardless of our origins, we are all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. It is exactly why I love this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Yeah, with that little ear flicker of his. Here, another good reason to get to the bottom of the Fawn's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. And meanwhile, excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books, Rika. More company should be arriving any moment now. Alright. So yeah, we're just chilling out here for a little while longer. I mean, we got time to watch the sunset. And now Kryl and Alfino appear. We've returned with our selections. Although I must say, the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Kryl has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on the Umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent Forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? Yeah, you didn't come with us to the first. I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarant firsthand, and I fear I may be overlooking critical details. Yeah. Leave it to Rika to tell you what she learned from Shinji. My thanks. Now where to begin? First things first, what kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? A complete destabilization of creation magics, primals of unrivaled power were summoned from the aether, or the worst kind of phenomena you can imagine. Well, we actually know one of the aspects, so we'll tell her about it. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc on all manner of life. The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing the powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indiscriminable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived into the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Ishdona surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Asians. You know, we're definitely learning a lot of big words here today. Was the Art House of Renown which heralded the approach of the final days? The entire star was engulfed by disaster all at once. Or they say it began with a keening sound from the land itself, or we can have Alpha Node answer it. Yeah, Rika can only remember so much from what she learned from Shinji. Yeah, Alpha Node, do you want to answer it? Me? Well, as you wish. Yeah, let's take turns on this. The Amarantines were debating the cause of an anomaly which had been observed in the lands across the sea. By this fact alone, we can deduce that the final days occurred not all at once the world over, but rather had a point of origin from which it began to spread. Others also spoke of a keening sound rising from the land itself, just before a region was visited by catastrophe. We never did hear this sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. So the ground was crying out, you say? So we consider the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak with one of Numenor's mammoths and ask after any books which make mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? Yeah. They summoned Zodiark, they summoned Hydaelyn, or they knocked Dalamu from the sky, but we know the answer to that one. Yes, with Elidibus serving as his heart, so many gave themselves in sacrifices to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiark brought salvation to the star, only that by his godlike will were the laws of nature set aright. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Life sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiark, a trade that would have allowed themselves to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have Vanala and her fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. Hey there, Baba. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telophoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech? A convenient metaphor for the scheduled destruction they plan to unleash? But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us turn our attention to the forms, shall we? We should keep an eye out for a Stola, but 'tis time we began studying these research papers. Yeah, we gotta chill out here a little while longer as nighttime has descended. Yeah, it's taken so long that we're having to wait for everyone to come in groups. There you are, Stola. I am the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced 1 or 2 possibly useful books. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. Oh, great. If you recall, Orianger learned of the source's reflections from the Garonne oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Gubal Library. 'Tis even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, will be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason then that my colleagues, be they Archons or Councillors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. It was that yet when you confronted Master Fortuner with knowledge of the Tolothroi and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the form would know if the final days were truly upon us. Which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the form's behavior, it is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Yeah, and we're not happy about that. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. Oh, I wouldn't dream of it. Although Rika does seem a little shocked. Oh, clever. I always wondered, though, how would they... for also, you labor for what feels like an age as a Shola's research assistant. But yeah, how would you be able to quickly carve an angel out of stone for that particular episode? That's what I never understood. How could they chisel an angel out of stone so fast? Anyway, let's speak with Kryl. Oh dear, you look exhausted. What about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? Actually, we did. Then the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a man at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. And so with it, we'll take our 448,800 experience points, 1,095 gil, and a pair of horse chestnut shoes. Yeah, I think we have time for doing one more quest tonight for the main story. Yeah, definitely we'll take advantage of it because of what's happened here this evening. But yeah, let's move on here. Also, digging this mage outfit here. And this is someone who's already made it to sage status. Yeah, that's quite an interesting combination of gear. Don't worry, I have an interesting set of my own, but we'll use it when the time comes. Alright, so let's go ahead and speak with Alice now to take on our next level 80 main story quest entitled A Seat at the Last Stand. Alice appears in desperate need of a study break. Ready for a tea break, Rika? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know, the last stand down in the harbour, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Alright. And I will see you over there. So yeah, I'm gonna go run this way, because yeah, side quests are now starting to pop up here in Old Charlian. And we'll jump through the water because we can. and attune to this. Alright, we're gonna go down to the harbor. Off we go. So, around here somewhere should be Miss Alice, and there she is. As busy as ever, I see. How very shocking that no gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Tolofroi. You might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? Alice is now accompanying you. Keep her at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. So, yeah, we're gonna have Alice come along for the ride. We're gonna speak with two different people, starting with Pirondier. What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstand, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Tolofroi. These enemies of peace have promised an end to all that we hold dear and... Wait, you're the House Levier girl, aren't you? Well, that didn't take long. And this woman with you is obviously a foreigner. I heard you are disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims. And here you are giving truth to the rumor. I'll thank you to leave me be. I've naught to say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, Rika. Well, it's a lot to expect an ounce of civility from you there, Alice, eh? Yeah, pot calling the kettle black. Maybe Mr. Hildoaz or Miss Hildoaz can provide us some information. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Tolofroi and their unconscionable plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Levier. Geez, weird. You give yourself away too easily, Alice, eh? My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Four should know that I was helping you. Oh, I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. Yeah, that didn't all that work all that well, now did it? Yeah, perhaps over with Dickon we'll get strike 3. Yeah, I mean, the name there says it all. Welcome, madam. What can I offer you today? Oh, something caught your eye. Wait, is that Mistress Alice I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Stone. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, between lessons at the studium. That seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Avenel had set sail for Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately, there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything alright at home? Don't add salt to the wounds. It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, at his House Levier, no matter how discreet Master Fortuneau may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now of all times? We have questions and only Charlene has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? I don't think he knows either. What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find? Information on this apocalypse? Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patients appear to be unwilling to speak with me. Yeah, for obvious reasons. I wish there was more I could do to help. So what's on your mind there, sir? But maybe there is. You're visitor to Charlene, aren't you? Yes, I am. Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server, with none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're sending down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for.
Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think?
Alright, I can do that for you. Last dispute. Pay attention now and I'll explain where each of these dishes needs to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by water's edge. The omelette is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisela. She is sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them, you should see a Mikote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Lobster, huh? Won't it get rubbery when it's oven-baked? Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask and I'll explain again. Good luck. Well, thankfully I don't need to worry about that. And they do go in order here of where you're supposed to go, so it's not like it's that hard. Although, for what it's worth, maybe I should have come in disguise, because, yeah, I may be giving out the food, but I kind of stick out like a sore thumb in my kimono. But for now, let's pass on this cafe table and set down the tea set.
Oh, my tea set. Lovely, thank you.
Yeah, you're quite welcome.
The Telofo, who? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about ritual arcane practices the 6th Astrolera, common or esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk your ear off.
I'm afraid I still got more orders to serve. Like to Miss Gisela and her omelets. Yeah, let's have a look at that omelet.
Oh, finally. 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in. No time to waste.
Well, before you do...
What? The Telofroi? Ah, yes. I remember seeing the name of the latest gazettes. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. When will these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice and I fully support our decision to remain neutral.
Yeah, but one can't help but wonder that there may be an ulterior motive for that neutrality. And finally, at the cafe table number 3, we're giving the oven-baked lobster or urbane banter with a smile to Smitu Tia. Yeah, we got a person from the S tribe of Mikote Seekers of the Sun for the first time. At last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. Can I bring something else along with it? The final days? This is the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off to his feet. It must be a busy time to be a gleaner. Yeah, gleaner? You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of a sort, traveling the world procuring things that we haven't got here in Sharlayan. Priceless books, unusual live specimens, and so forth. So named for those folk who trail after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain which was missed. Aye, by all accounts, gleaning is the most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Telofroi make good on their audacious threats, then many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before. Not like this. Yeah, it seems like this Mikote gave us the most relevant information that we required. So let's head on over to Alice and hear what she has to say.
Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking?
I did, actually.
Interesting. They seem unaware of the final days aside from whatever vague news the cassettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum does have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job of ensuring that no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, that cup of coffee I promised.
Thank you very much. But let's enjoy our drinks somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossips and their wagging tongues. Alright, lead on then to that particular spot. So yeah, it's not that far of a walk. Yeah, we're gonna head right over here, and this is where she's chilling out. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight. Yeah. Is it a good idea for us to be drinking coffee in the middle of the night? Yeah, holding on to that cup for dear life.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan?
Yeah. It happened very recently.
Grahar said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say.
In other words, he scolded you like the child you are.
Neither did Alphino, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family.
You have no idea.
If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently.
As we look at some of the boats going into the canal. Yeah, not quite Venice, but still. Yeah, make sure you don't crash against the walls.
They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos.
Where is that? Yeah. Enlighten me.
A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat.
So what's on your mind?
Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual?
I did indeed. It came from a fellow Miko.
Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum.
I see where you're going with this.
If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Well, we know what we gotta do then. Yeah, it's time to put our swimming abilities to good use. In the meantime, we'll take our 448,800 experience points and 1,295 gil for completing the quests. But for now, we're going to leave Alice here for the remainder of the evening. We're going to branch off and check off some of the side quests that have now popped up here in Old Sharlayan. And there's one we're going to take off and take care of right away. So we'll run on up to the one that's closest to us, the one that has the blue icon on it. This diminutive gleaner. So yeah, we're gonna get to learn a little more about them, I guess. Let's speak with this diminutive gleaner to take on our first side quest, entitled The Hunt for Specimens. The diminutive gleaner is on the lookout for an able-bodied adventurer.
Do my eyes deceive me, or are you Rika Sasaki?
So you've seen the special events that take place in Eorzea?
Well, as I live and breathe, it is you! Ha! I knew I'd be the first to track you down. Who's the guild ship's top hunter now, eh? Wait, you have heard of guild ship hunts, yes? They're not so different from the hunts you're familiar with in Eorzea, as I understand it. I wager they're rather more challenging, but an adventurer of your caliber would never turn down a challenge, would you? No, you would not. Please speak with Notota at the Peristyle to register your interest at your earliest convenience.
So away he goes, and we will go and follow. Yeah, might as well get some of this stuff checked off while we can, because since this is a Let's Play, I have to do all the side quests too. Let's speak with Notota.
Hi, I'm Notota. Have you come to place bounty on an unruly beast?
Actually, I have another reason to be here.
But the scholar, Eureka! I also have to go inside set the others an impossible task asking them to find you. The Gleaner's Guild ship has been posting huntsmen, you see, in the hopes that capable individuals will take up arms to lighten our ever-increasing load. Unfortunately, capable individuals remain the sticking point. Few hailing from our fellow polis are willing to take up arms, let alone able to stand against the more fearsome specimens. You, however, have the experience and the grit that we need. When I heard that you had arrived on our shores, it was music to my ears. You needn't work for free, of course. We've done our research, and the rewards we offer are as fine as you'll find any abroad. The currency we employ is a relic of times when Gleaner was a great deal less figurative, so you may find it somewhat eccentric, but it is as good as skill here. Speaking of eccentric, it should be noted that the majority of our clients are scholars. You probably won't have heard of half the creatures they send you after, but I find it's best not to worry about that very much. Slay bees collect samples, try not to think about the long-term effects of touching said samples, and get paid. Simple, no? That being said, I won't dream of throwing you in the deep end just yet. Let's have you start off with some junior marks so you can get your feet wet.
And so with it, we'll take 160,300 experience points for completing a side quest, and 775 gil. And there we go, our first side quest is finished. Guild ship hunts now accessible. You are now permitted to take bills for junior marks from guild ship hunt boards in Old Shardian and Razat Han. Defeat the monsters described on the bills and you'll be rewarded with tokens that can be exchanged for exclusive items. To exchange tokens for exclusive items, speak with either Jalakshai in Old Shardian or with Wilmetta in Razat Han. New quests and associate marks will become available at level 83. And we'll see you then. In the meantime, let's go see who else we can't help. Let's head on over to the main 8th right. We have 2 side quests here that we can take. We'll start by speaking with Blodswiss here. We'll take on her quest entitled Scholarly Perspective. You seem to have caught Spaldswiss's interests.
Hello, friend. Are you new to Sharlian? You have that look about you.
Yeah, indeed I am.
I thought as much. Oh, not bothering you, am I? I so rarely meet travelers from beyond our shores, and couldn't pass up an opportunity to broaden my horizons. Can I assume a visitor such as yourself is eager to do the same? If you have an interest in learning about the city's history, for example, then I know the perfect person to give you an impromptu lesson. Head on over to Scholar's Harbor and keep an eye out for a black-haired Rogadin. That'll be my brother. He'll know the tale of any pillar and statue you care to point out, and he would be more than happy to share it with you.
Alright. So let's head on down there to the harbor. Also, is that what I think it is? I wanted to take that as a yes, possibly. That's creepy. Alright, away we go. We're gonna go all the way, actually a little further, Here, run past the officer there. And make our old way ourselves all the way down to the far southern points. While also trying to keep my throat intact. Yeah, you can see it's quite a bit of distance to get down here. Plus there's also a bonus additional quest down here too that's blue. So let's speak with the statue gazer. Yes, was there something I want to help you with? Indeed there is. Oh, my dear sister, you say. Well, she did indeed send you to the right man. For who better to teach you about Sharlayan's history than a Studium certified history professor? Here, take my spyglass. Go on, take it. No time like the present to learn about the past. We shall begin with your education with Divine Thaliak, the scholar himself. Inspect the statue of Thaliak. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out. Target a section and examine it in more detail. So yeah, we've done this sort of thing before. We're gonna zoom in. And we have the Scholar's Ewer, first of all, the big jug. Mythology tells us that Thaliak bore a magic pitcher from which poured forth the waters of knowledge. See how the water is drawn up from the canals and cascades endlessly into the sea. As well as recreating the divine Ewer from its tail, it also symbolizes the wisdom which rises from our city and flows out into the world. If you'd like to learn more about the mechanism by which it works, the stonemasons who built it left records of their struggle in the archives of Numenor. A rather challenging construction by all accounts. Yes, indeed. Yeah, let's have a look also around the statue. See if we can find anything else that's particular, like the feet. If you learn your history, then you will know that the 6th Umbra brought a catastrophic flood to the lands of Eorzea. Yet when all hope seemed lost, the 12 Archons rose up and saved multitudes from a terrible fate. Of those 12, it was Archon Yunkremph who brought our ancestors here in his ark, and together they founded what was to become the great nation of Sharlayan. The beach at the foot of the Thaliak statue is the very spot where those first Sharlayans made land. I must imagine how they must have felt on that day some 1600 years ago. And then finally, looking at the face. Yeah, Thaliak, they say Thaliak is a guy, but this statue looks so feminine. This statue is a representation of Thaliak, one of the 12 divinities of Eorzea and guardian deity of Sharlayan. As the god of knowledge, he rules over rivers and wisdom. There was once a system of governance in Sharlayan known as the Ecclesia, a great gathering in which each citizen was given a voice on decisions affecting the nation's future. And it was during one such forum wherein the people voted to elect Thaliak as a patron. It was not piety which drove this choice, but rather a natural progression of our principles and creeds. We Sharlayans have, after all, always devoted ourselves to the pursuit of knowledge. I don't know. I mean, it even looks like a dress. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed your introduction to Sharlayan historical architecture. If we are to do justice to the towering Thaliak, however, there is one last snippet of knowledge that we simply cannot overlook. Come along to the foot of the statue. Meanwhile, yeah, remember this family? They've been in other expansions before, the Ironhearts. And here we find Babeth, the latest member of this family that we get to say hello to. Beg pardon, good madam. I could scarce help but notice that sightseeing log on your person. You wouldn't happen to be the adventurer my niece wrote about, would you? Niece, huh? So you're definitely getting older now, aren't we? Ah, so it is you. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
I am Babith Ironheart, Milith Sant and seasoned explorer. Be a dear and hand me that log of yours. Milith told me all about how she helped you embark on explorations of your own, so it's only right that I share with you some wisdom of my own. Yes, please. Let's see here. Oh, I can't forget to mention that. And done. Thank you. You should be all set, dear. I've jotted down everything I've heard about the most remarkable vistas the realm has to offer. Of course, a few notes I've shared are not more than rumors. Some describing locales so fantastical that I can barely believe they exist. But as I always say, the true joy of exploration lies not in the destination, but in the journey. So go forth, dear, and see what sort of journey these things take you on. That sightseeing log of yours won't fill itself, you know. And so the sightseeing log is expanded again. And so with that taken care of, let's hustle on over and reunite with the Gazer. Yeah, very well could be. But admit it, the way that it flows, it looks like a dress. The way it flows on that statue, it looks like a dress. So passing past the first mark and we're heading down to the second. So yeah, who's ready for an upskirt shot? Yeah, who wants to satisfy their 7-year itch? Alright, Gazer. Pay your direct attention to yon doors. Behind them, nestled within the statue itself, is a chamber known as the Pathless Way. Yeah, we're already on the Pathless Way. It's in my Christmas Chaos Let's Play. Those who have acquired mastery over specialized disciplines or whose steeds have led to significant advances in the chosen field are invited to enter said chamber and receive the title of Archon. We place great value on the pursuit of knowledge, and thus the Archons are held in especially high regard. As the embodiment of our ideals, they are permitted to browse the forbidden archives and have ever stood at the center of our nation's greatest achievements. Now, as for the most secret and sacred ceremony which awards them the title, I'm afraid that even I am not privy to the particulars. You'll forgive me my ignorance on this subject, I hope? Sure. A scholar and a gentlewoman. And thus concludes the lesson. Should you happen to return by the same route, pray convey my warmest regards to Bold Swiss. Very well there, sir. It's a shame I don't even know what your name is. Yeah, let's warp for the first time. Yeah, they put the list for shining destinations along the same list as Mordona, and also where you own a house or an apartment. Yeah, it's just easier to go this way. Let's go find Bald Swiss and complete the quest. Oh, you just come back from hearing one of my brothers lecture summons you. That's another look I'm quite familiar with. His breadth of historical knowledge is extensive, sufficient to earn him the title of Archon he hopes. The problem is, if his contributions to the field are to be officially acknowledged, he must have written recommendations from high-ranking professionals. But in these tumultuous times, such ceremonial concerns have been pushed to one side. And so he idles away his spare moments at the harbour now, just gazing out at the ocean. I thought having an eager student might relight his spark, which is why I jumped at the chance to speak with you. I must apologize for not being more honest with my intentions. Please accept this gift for your troubles and allow me to welcome you once more to Sharlayan. And so we'll take 168,300 experience points and 815 gil. Now, from one female Rogadin to another, let's speak with Toughwib, and we'll take on her quest entitled A Literary Delivery. Toughwib seems excited to meet a real-life adventurer. With that steampunk look, I wouldn't be surprised. Are you one of those adventuring types I've heard so much about? Oh, but this is perfect. I just happen to have an errand of the kind that adventurers love, so I'm told. I'm holding on to some volumes my customers ordered in, but instead of coming to pick them up, they all decided that they wanted their goods delivered. So I found myself in need of a delivery charge person. Might that person be you? Yeah, I can do that for you. Huzzah! Let me give you the details then. All in all, there are 3 blocks on the delivery docket. The first is Guardian Astrology, a comprehensive theory, should be handed to the servant at Albright Manor. The white yonder is for a certain talkative book lover who you'll know by the constant stream of chatter. And the last narrow road through the deep grass goes to one of the toughest, most unflappable gleaners I've ever met. I'll just mark the locations on this handy map like so. The books are bought and paid for, no need to collect any coin, but do return to me for your own reward. Alright. We'll go this way first. And looks like we're gonna head over to the studio. So to the studio we go. Our person should be right around here. Also, they seem a little further away on the map. Yeah, the map can be misleading at times. Yeah, we have found our babbling book lover. He's got his nose in the book already, until now. Please tell me you brought my new book. I've been waiting for what feels like ages for the latest shipment to arrive. Well, here you go. Yes, finally! Did you know The White Yonder was written by a lad of 14 years? I question myself how reliable such a work can possibly be, but a far eastern colleague with whom I've been exchanging correspondence says he absolutely swears by it. It describes the wonders of the Baldessian Sea of Clouds in exquisite details, and it is by all accounts a roaring good read. The bit about the fighting Pisces is said to be an especially entertaining episode. Well, I should let you return to your deliveries and whatnot. Thank you kindly for putting this long-awaited treat into my ever so grateful hands. Yeah, put it to good use there, sir. Alright, so the next one is actually closer to the plaza, but we're gonna go and use the Aetheryte down at Journey's End first. Or rather at the Levier Estate, because we haven't officially attuned to the Journey's End Aetheryte yet. But we will. And now that we have the sightseeing log available, we can also start using it as well. So let's go ahead and get my lookout emote on hotbar. Have a look, and take 84,000 experience points. So that was entry number 6. So yeah, we'll conveniently attune to the Aetheryte over here. They look like they lost a fight with a Renaissance fair? I don't know how to describe that. Alright, we have our manor servant here, a female Miko. Welcome to Albright Manor. Do you have an appointment? No, but I do have something to give you. Ah, yes. One copy of Guardian Astrology, a comprehensive theory, just as his lordship requested. I must confess there's some confusion, however. What interest would his lordship, an esteemed practitioner of Guardian Astrology, have in such an outdated Ishgardian discipline? Well, I can understand why, given the fact that they no longer need to use astrology in Ishgard for the reasons that they used to. Not that I'm in any position to question his lordship's reading habits, of course. On your way, then. Alright, and it was nice to meet you. Alright, last one is right around the Aetheryte. The primary Aetheryte, I should say. Alright, let's head on over. Also, I could have gotten there from the harbor. Yeah, I realized I was in the wrong spot.
Yeah, we'll head on over this way and find the person we need to speak to. I don't know why my controls went the way they did there for a moment. So also, I think this person is over here. Yes, you are. Hello there, Mr. Gleaner. Something I can help you with. Indeed, I have something for you. Oh, is that my book? Good, I need it for my journey. I don't usually have a great time of deal for reading, but as I'm leaving for Arthard on requisition duty and wanted to do some research on Far Eastern cultures, I know little of the peoples of the Azim Steppe. It says here that there are 51 distinct Zala tribes, each with their own customs and traditions. The Baduga, for example, are exclusively male, and are known for kidnapping male outsiders to replenish lost numbers. Well, I never knew that, and I actually spent time with them. Is this accurate? I'll need to tread carefully, it seems. Thank you for the timely delivery. Yeah, for what it's worth, that was news to me too. Yeah, we can already see crafters starting to ply their trade here. And so let's head on back to Tofweb.
All safely delivered? Ha, of course they were. My shop was well known for carrying publications not only from Shalian authors, but from all manner of foreign chroniclers and tale-tellers, meaning every time a new shipment comes in, I'm faced with an avalanche of work. I would have been buried alive without your assistance today, so here's a little something to show my gratitude. Go on, you've earned it.
Indeed we have. 186,300 experience points and 735 gil. Alright, 2 more quests to take care of in this round. So we'll head on over here. We'll take Journey's End first. And we will discover a little mischievous Mikote. Nice to meet you too, little girl. Let's speak with her to take on the next quest entitled Doll Dash. The mischievous Mikote looks at you expectantly. Probably glad to see one of her own.
If I ask you for help, you'll help me, won't you?
Sure.
You will? Good, because I'm having a problem with one of a doll.
Yeah, a doll?
That's right. All I did was stand him a little Nathan and he hopped up and dashed off down the street. Mama and Papa bought him for me as a special gift and now I've gone and lost him. They'll be furious with me for losing the toy I kept asking for, so please, you have to help me find him!
Yeah, don't worry, I got your back. One Mikote to another.
Okay, I'll hurry home to see if he went there. And you can search the rest of the city. Oh, he's a yellow carbuncle doll, by the way, and I think he was heading north. Anyway, meet me back here when you have him. Or, you know, you just give up.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. So let's exchange Aetherites then. Alright, so up a little further north. No, I'm not going to. Yeah, we're pretty much done with, we basically have hit the milestone that I was going to hit tonight. So as far as the main story is concerned, we're not going to be going any further with that this evening. Yeah, we're just going to check off the side quests that have popped up in and around Sharlayan to close out the evening. Yeah, where could this carbuncle doll be? How about right over here? Yeah, it seems to be perfectly still. You find a yellow carbuncle doll. Lifelike expressions aside, it appears to be otherwise motionless. Return to Journey's End and deliver him to the mischievous Mikote. And so we'll do that then. So yeah, why was this so mischievous? You want that doll! Yeah, I could see you with something like that there, Elizabeth.
He wasn't there. I don't think I'll ever see him again.
Don't worry, I got your back.
You found him! Just like Big Mooney would have!
Who's Big Mooney?
That's what I call the neighbor who used to play with me. She was so tall and smart and always so nice. She told me stories about her friend, a powerful wizard who could summon his very own carbuncle companion. That's why I wanted one for myself. I have to learn how to move him around better though, so that when Mooney comes back, she can see how hard I've been practicing my magics. This is for you. Papa says that when someone helps you, you have to show your gratitude. So, thanks for finding my carbuncle. Bye!
So it's 186,300 experience points, plus a pair of leggings. I guess they're too big for this little girl. Yeah, I guess they'll only fit on me. So finally, we're gonna go back out towards the annex to get the last side quest done for the night. Oh, I haven't attuned to it yet. Well, why don't we do that right now? Yeah, I was so focused on the story that I didn't actually attune to it. Well, that's what tends to happen when you get so wrapped up in something. Yeah, just past the Baldessian Annex. We'll go ahead and attune. And I'm pretty sure this was the last one I needed. Yep, we now have completely cleared out. So let's go across the bridge and see who is the last person needing our help tonight. So over here we're going to find a waiting woman. But who or what is she waiting for? Let's find out by taking on the quest entitled Awaiting Love. The waiting woman sighs with impatience.
How long must I wait?
For what? Or for who?
Oh, forgive me. I was just thinking out loud. I made my plans to meet my paramour, you see, but the time of our rendezvous is long past. As a member of the Forum, his work keeps him ever so busy, even more so than usual, in recent days. Still, he promised he would put some time aside for me, for us. I don't suppose your wanderings will take you anywhere near New and Campsite today, will they? I just need someone to check if he's there while I stay here, just in case.
Alright.
Thank you ever so much. My tardy sweetheart is an Ori man. Brown hair, serious mien. Should you happen to spot him, pray convey the state of my rapidly mounting impatience.
Rapidly mounting impatience, huh? Well, let's not keep him and her waiting for forever. Yeah, we gotta reunite these two lovebirds. Down to the Scholar's Harbor, please. So yeah, we'll be going past the last stand. And head out towards this particular part of the docking area. Over to the brown-eyed counselor and we'll see what he has to say. Hello, sir. If we are to efficiently supply the requisition request for the cleaners and no time for mistakes. Your man appears to be lost in contemplation. Perhaps a gentle poke will get his attention. Yeah, you're thinking this too, right? I bet you're thinking exactly what I'm thinking. So, shall we? Ah, you poke too high, Rika. Why, Tholios, Kryl, where did you spring from? Yeah, I chose to give him a tap on the shoulder. She grows tired of waiting. I'm not sure I... Oh, girls, that was today! I was so engaged with my tasks that I must get to her immediately. And you must be rewarded for this service. Come along, please. Quickly now, quickly! Yeah. Go, man, go! And then over to the Annex. And away we go. Let's go ahead and find the waiting woman. Her man is not here yet.
Well, my sweetheart finally arrived thanks to your gentle reminder. He looked so exhausted from his endless labors of it that I sent him home to rest. I had a feeling he would be at Nooncrump's site. They say that spur of rock was where the eponymous Archon used to sit when he had matters to mediate upon. My habitually late love holds Nooncrump in great esteem, both for his role as the founder of Sharlayan and the ark he built to save his people from the floodwaters of the Sixth Stormblood calamity. Thus I have an inkling of where to look when the appointed time of our tryst has passed. In any case, I should go and be with him while we still have some spare moments to enjoy. Oh, I mustn't forget your reward. A little token of appreciation from the two of us to you.
168,300 experience points and 815 gills what we will receive. And there we go. That checks off all of these side quests in Sharlayan for now. So, with all that taken care of, that means that we can officially put the first day of the official launch of Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker to a close. Yeah, we've had the opportunity to see quite a bit already in the first day, and I hope that all of you guys have enjoyed this start off to the official Let's Play here on Twitch. Make sure to help get the word out. Use social media, use Twitter, Facebook, Discord, Instagram, whatever, what have you, and let's see if we can get more people to join in on the ride. Love to have more people to come and enjoy the experience with us, and we'll see how this Let's Play unfolds. Of course, for the next few days at least, whether or not I come and join you here in this game or in the path list depends all upon how bad the queue will be and how long I'm stuck in it. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and proceed to end our first official night of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker live here on Twitch. I'll look forward to seeing you guys again here tomorrow with whatever game we may be playing, and we'll see just how much of a good time we can have together. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and until next time everyone, may you ever walk in the light of the crystal.